the eyes say so much. Your eyes are always inches away from the monitor. Have you always played in this orientation, having it right up to your face? It kind of mimics your playstyle a little bit.
Yeah, so no, I didn't always play like this. It was probably after Kansas City. I think I was like scrimming online at the time. And I was like, dude, I just can't lock in. What if I just like sit an inch away from my monitor? I'd just be like this right here. Once I got warmed up and then I was like warmed up and like locked in, I feel like it just made me better. I feel like it was like in VR, like I was like in the game. I'm ever like this far back, I just can't try. Like, I don't know what it is. I just can't try. I'm just like, yeah, whatever, bro.
Welcome to Tide the Leader, a community-driven podcast about the past, present, and future of competitive Halo. I'm Eli the Ninja, joined with my duo, Makowski. Today's special guest is going to be Bound. This guy's been making waves in the competitive scene for the past couple of years. We could not be more excited to have him. How are you doing today, Bound?
I'm doing good. I mean, first time doing a podcast, anything like this, so it's pretty cool to come on here and just try something like this. You know, I watched a couple podcasts, so I think it's so good to give it a try.
I guess we'll go ahead and just start with some basics. I feel like there's a lot of stuff that people don't know about you. So if you could take us back to the early days of your, even just playing video games in general, what was your introduction to Halo and how did you get your gamer tag?
So I started playing video games. I'd probably say the first video game I can remember this day was actually probably Counter-Strike 1.6.
Wow.
My family used to have a family computer. You know, just a computer that, you know, families use, nothing for like gaming or anything like that. I remember I'd used to come home from like kindergarten and we'd sit and I'd go on there and like play Counter-Strike 1.6 against like bots, not even against like real people or anything like that. When it comes to my first Halo memory, it'd probably be when I was 7 years old when Halo 3 came out. Yeah, Halo 3. The first thing I can remember is my brother going to the Halo 3 midnight release. I remember laying in bed, like hearing my brother and my dad, like my brother used to live in the attic, like his room was in the attic. And so his room was above mine. I was like hearing them play in Halo 3, like the campaign when it first came out. So it's probably my first memory of Halo. And then my first memory I can remember, like myself playing, would probably be Halo Reach when it came out. I remember me and my brother like playing in the living room. I remember my gamer tags back before I had Bound were pretty just whack. I was just like, I just want a cool gamer tag, you know what I mean? Like, because everyone had like, if you had like a cool gamer tag, you know what I mean? Like just a one word. It was like, dude, that guy's got to be sweaty and good. You know what I mean? So I remember I would just look on this website like OG gamer tags or something, and I remember this guy was selling the gamer tag Bound. He had two options. It was either Bound or FedorA.
That'd be the worst.
And I was like, okay, I can't be known as FedorA. So I just got to do Bound then. So yeah, I got Bound and kind of just stuck.
Yeah, we were actually talking about some of the like connotations behind the name Bound, and it's kind of sick if you think about it. Like, it could mean like you're bound, like you're chained up, and like you're ready to release like energy. And
yeah, I kind of never really had a meaning for it. I don't know. And then I see people say it's a really cool gamer tag sometimes, and I'm like, I guess I don't know. Like, it's not really supposed to like mean anything. It's just supposed to be like sweaty. So yeah.
For most rookies in Halo Bound, you come in as a fairly unknown player in the space. You were a total mystery, though. No identity online. Nobody had ever seen your face. What was the thought process behind being so incognito and mysterious in those early years, especially in Halo 5, where you were experiencing a lot of success online?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I liked it. You know, it was kind of like just like I was like an online demon. I was like, dude, this guy's like, you know what I mean? This guy's kind of like an enigma, like I think people used to say. So it was pretty cool in that regards. I also just like deeply loved Halo 5, and I kind of was just like, it was like the game that I played in high school. You know, I feel like every Halo you play when you're in high school, you kind of like have like a connection to, just because it's the one where you come home and you just play because, you know, you just love the game. You know what I mean? So Halo 5 was awesome, and I loved just like playing that and just like kind of not competing, but like I was just like pure passion. You know what I mean? Like I said, I just come home, play matchmaking. I would play like chows and stuff back then, like money twos and stuff like that. So it was dope, but I mean, it was. I thinking back to it, I wish I definitely could have competed after experiencing lands and Halo Infinite, because I know I just would have loved Halo 5 and just would have just. I feel like I could have just been really good at that game online or on land too.
Did you ever have that inclination to maybe show up to a Halo 5 land, or was this always some like long game, end game master plan to make Infinite your first one?
I mean, I did have the feeling I wanted to. I was a duo with Neptune from like for a while, prior to him even going to LAN events. Me and him would always play with each other, like matchmaking. So when he started going to events, it was kind of like, oh, that's pretty cool. Like, I wish I could go, but I don't know. I just didn't want to. And honestly, it was when I graduated high school was when I was kind of like, all right, what am I gonna do? It was either like get a job or play Halo. And since Halo Infinite was like coming out, I think so. I graduated in like 2018, and then like COVID and all that stuff hit, and then yeah, pretty much in like 2020 when I started competing online with like real teams when I like knew I was gonna go to LAN events. So
You were teaming with a lot of big names. I mean, your
yeah,
first LAN roster was Boo Boo Doo Falcated and Snip3down. And we found a parallel between you and Snip3down that we found was interesting. Snip3down previously had the record set for the highest placing at a player's first LAN. He actually teamed with me at that event in his first Halo 3 event in 2008. He went on to be the rookie of the year that year. And then you come in and you team with Snip3down and you go on to be rookie of the year. Were you aware of that parallel? And did it serve as a springboard, not only matching his first time success, but also surpassing it?
I think I do remember talking to Eric about it after Rally, where he was kind of just because didn't he win 08 champs or nationals or something like
He
that?
did.
Yeah, yeah.
His first few tournaments, he went 7th with me. Then he gets poached by Lunchbox and Roy and plays for Instinct. They get 2nd. And then he gets poached by Triggers Down. They get 1st. And then after getting 1st place, he leaves that team to join Straight Rippin' and also gets 1st place with them, which was probably one of the craziest like sequences for a player to go 7th, 2nd, 1st, 1st. But yeah, that was his first year.
I remember after Rally, he was saying something like, "All right, we're gonna win worlds now. It's gonna be like my rookie year or something like that." I don't really remember, but it's something along those lines. So I do remember. As long as rookie of the year, in terms of rookie of the year, I kind of knew I was kind of gonna win that because I was competing online versus these guys for like a while, so I didn't feel like a real rookie. It's kind of like I am a rookie because it is my first time playing on LAN, but I didn't have like any nerves or anything like that.
Yeah, Snip3down with that 7th place finish at Meadowlands. You actually surpassed the best placing at your first LAN event with 3rd place finish with that FaZe Clan roster. Did that exceed expectations? Did it meet expectations? What was your experience like going into that first event?
Yeah, so going into the first event, I was really confident. I mean, looking back on it now, like getting 3rd at my first event's kind of crazy because after playing for a while, I think it's like 11 or 12 events now. It's kind of like, damn, like it's hard getting 3rd, and like the fact that I did that my first event, like all I remember was when we lost to not make it to finals because we lost Game 5 to United. I was like, damn, bro, like I just wanted to win my first event, but like looking back at it, like I should have been way more like proud of what I even accomplished because. But like I said, it's not hard. It's not easy at all. It's actually really, really hard. Especially the first event too. There was so many teams. Yeah, we lost some pool play to G2, and I was like, bro, this LAN shit's not even like I remember just like thinking to myself, it's so easy. And then like thinking back on it now, it's actually insane that I managed to pull that off. And like I also had like no nerves either. Looking back on it, like I don't even know how.
Wow.
Like I really have no idea.
It's just that confidence. I mean, it makes sense that you built up confidence. I mean, I was looking through your wiki and you were teaming with all kinds of legends leading up to before Infinite even came out. You were having a ton of success online, teaming with literally all the best in the game. Boo Boo Doo Boo Falcated yourself and Lucid, who was going by Zayn at the time, which is just a crazy looking roster. You teamed with Renegade, you teamed with Arctic, Super CC, who are still quite good. RyaNoob.
Oh yeah, RyaNoob and H2A. Yeah, I don't remember the Arctic one though.
This says Arctic is an esports arena tournament, Halo 5, Bound, Arctic, Boo Boo, and Lucid. There was
that's right. Yeah,
Lucid, Arctic, and Super CC. Yeah, there was like a handful of events in 2020 with those guys. But yeah, you had already played with and against all these guys. So just physically going to LAN, I think, is kind of a different experience for most people where they're like nervous because maybe they're scared of being known as like an onliner and like, oh, you're only good online. We can think of a few people that still are like that to this day. And it's just always been a thing, but you just show up, no nerves. I think nerves are really the difference maker. Like you really just got to have the ice to show up on LAN and perform. So props to you for that.
Quick aside on the H2A RyaNoob, brought up a memory in my mind, the Killtastrophe on Sanctuary. Were you on his squad for that?
No, I was actually on the other team. I was actually a part of it.
Oh. All right, so talk me through the POV of having a Killtastrophe. I mean, that's like a Mint Blitz clips in a MLG HCS lobby. That was nuts. What was your experience like? I mean, I mean, that's one of the best clips of all time.
I'm running through to look at the other two.
Turn around.
They're turret. I can't get a touch on this.
Yeah, it's fine.
One shot, one rock, and one shot back rocks.
Got two.
They're still on touch.
Good job, Rocker. I'm getting bombed.
I got
Alright, you got it. Well, I got a triple. Last guy.
I'm sniping straight.
He could be shoddy.
Their nades one shot. Their nades one shot.
Got it over. Spawn rock. Dead, kill tack. Kill Tross right here. Kill Tross.
Let's fucking go, Ryan.
Same place. Hold on, one shot.
Kilimanjaro.
Oh my god.
There's one there.
So I mean, at the time, our team was me, Trippy, Ola, and Neptune. None of us actually played H2A except Ola, and we were playing against RyaNoob's team, and they were like actually scrimming the game because it was like H2A 2020. Like I don't even think anyone was scrimming except him, and I don't even know who they were scrimming every day. But
Yeah,
we
RyaNoob
used to-
had somebody, trust me.
yeah, it's somebody. I don't even know. But our team was pretty bad just because I remember at the time Neptune was not like invested in Halo at all. He was just like he was like halfway out the door, halfway into COD. So I remember we were just showing up every weekend, just like getting destroyed, and we're just like, all right, fuck this, bro. That was actually like my first team I committed to for like going to LAN. Like if we were actually good, like I'm pretty sure we probably would have stuck it out. But we actually ended up being pretty dog shit. And I mean, you ended up seeing what was it, a Killpocalypse, the one before Killing Air? Yeah.
Maybe it was a Killpoc. I thought it was the attachment for
I
the
think it was
whatever-
9.
Yeah,
So-
whatever before the Killing Air, because I remember we were like, fucking thank God we spawned out. But I remember that game was just so bad. Like you were just sitting in ring 3, right, the whole time, just black screening us. And we're just like, what is this? Like we're just spawning rocks on Sanctuary, just dying on repeat. And thank God, bro. Thank God Ola spawned out underneath the turn. Because if he didn't, he would have got the Killing Air, bro. I'm just sitting there thinking, like, how is this real? Like, how am I just spawning this guy's aimer like it's fucking Octagon? Like, how is this game even real? Like, it made no sense.
I'm not gonna lie, that map, like the spawn design for that map in H2A was pretty bad.
There was 3 spawns.
And I'm pretty sure it was so predictable because it's like you couldn't spawn where you had just died. So like if he
Yeah.
just kills you under turret, you just spawn
no,
rocks.
You couldn't. I don't think you could spawn where I think you spawned. I think it was the fact that his teammates were blocking the other 2 spawns. So like the turn, like he had a guy sitting hut or something. So that would
Yeah.
like block the other spawns, and we would just spawn in his aimer and die and repeat. And I'm like, how is this real? Like, I don't know, it was insane. We actually didn't even know until like an hour later when we were on Twitter. We're like, dude, he got a apocalypse. We're like, what? Thank God Ola spawned out. It was insane.
That's a great anecdote. Love it. Well, fast forwarding a little bit from that experience in H2A 2020 now to Halo Infinite at that opening event in Raleigh where you placed 3rd. Afterwards, you took the place of your former teammate in those infamous LVT 2v2s, Renegade. What was that experience like, and how heavy was that weight on your shoulders filling in for a roster that had previously won 2 events in a row?
I mean, looking back on it, it's weird because like I said, whenever I'm in these moments, I really don't like feel the pressure. But looking back on it, it's like, damn, like that actually happened. You know what I mean? So I remember we got 3rd after the first event. And then the next 2 events, like I'm thinking, I'm insanely confident, like still going into these LAN events, but we end up getting like top 6 and top 8 on the FaZe team at Anaheim and Kansas City. So I remember after Kansas City, I'm like, damn, bro, like we just suck. Like we lost to E United to lose all 3 events. They beat us at all 3 events to like eliminate us in losers. So I remember after Kansas City, I'm just like, damn, like we're just not good, and like blah blah blah. And then I remember like Eco and Stellar just like hitting me up, and we got on a Discord call. They're like, yeah, we won a team, like Renegade's leaving or something like that. I remember at the time thinking like, holy fuck, I'm saved. Let's go. Like I'm on a God team, you know what I mean? I was like, let's go, bro. Like I'm basically on the best team in the game. You know, they got like first, second. I'm like, I'll take it. You know, I didn't even hesitate. I was like, yeah, let's team. Like I didn't even tell my teammates, or I didn't even like think about it. It was really weird too, because like after Kansas City, there was such a long break in between Kansas City and Orlando. So like I joined the team, but it was just like, all right, we're now going to wait 5 months. So like, you know what I mean? And it was just like, I don't know. It was weird thinking about it. I definitely wish like there was an event like the Super, for example. The Super was an actual event back then, because it would have made it way better in terms of like preparation. But yeah, I mean, getting the opportunity to join that team was definitely the best thing to happen to me. And I mean, I'm still on the team, and I managed to like, you know, win a couple events with him. So it's pretty awesome. And I'm like extremely grateful for it. So
We actually had Renegade on the podcast last week, and he had some interesting comments about your friendship and rivalry. I've got the screen share up here, and you may have already seen this, but this will just be fun to watch together. I love the editing on this, by the way. Shout out to Kills in the Night. He crushed this editing. So watch this.
funny because not too long ago, Renegade and Bound, they were your undefeated LVT Money Tuesday champions. A lot of y'all don't know.
Let's talk about Bound, because there's always been Renegade and Bound. Now it's Renegade versus Bound.
Bound. He says we know how this goes, but do you?
I guess we'll find out. I don't know. I think you're shit, so we'll see.
Yeah.
I love playing against Bound just because he's one of the few players I know believes he's better than me.
Oh, let's finish. These guys are fucking ass.
And I feel like it's vice versa, where I believe I'm better than him.
Oh my god,
for me, that clip was insane.
That was insane.
I love playing someone who just thinks they could just beat me easily. Fills me up.
Still in the death screen, and Renegade says this is why I chose to leave.
What's your take on that?
I feel like we're just both delusionally confident. You know what I mean? We're just super confident. We think we can just we honestly think we can probably just 1v4 some teams. We're just insanely confident. So it kind of just funny. I mean, we also have the history of just playing twos with each other and against each other for so long. So I don't know. With John, it's kind of just been like that for years. I've been 1v1ing against a guy since 2016, 2017. So it's always just been super competitive with me and him.
It seems like a destined rivalry because, earlier you said Halo 3 came out when you were 7 years old, and I did the math in my head. I was like, wait, he was also born in 2000, so they're literally the same age. And I feel like you guys had similar experiences growing up, and then now all these years later, you're competing against each other. I don't know. There's something poetic about that.
Yeah, I'm actually a little bit older than him. Yeah,
a few months or something.
Yeah.
Do you feel like when you play against him, you play your best? Because you want to beat him even more than maybe some other players?
I definitely feel that against Optic or FaZe for sure, just because it's the top three, and that's the Halo where if you win those matches, you win the tournament. So with those teams, yeah, for sure. I wouldn't say it specifically John. It is a little annoying if I do lose to him. I'm just dude, John, but nah, it's just kind of just that with the top teams. You kind of just have to just go out there and play your best and hope you win.
So going back to the beginning where you were a complete mystery in the scene, you didn't post much on social media. Was that because you were just simply dialed into Halo, or you just weren't interested in socials at the time?
At least with Twitter, Twitter is just Twitter. I feel like you can really only use Twitter if you're trying to be a brand, especially if you're a gamer. But with Twitch, it was different because that's made for streaming video games. I remember I started streaming in 2017, 2018, somewhere around there. And I genuinely loved streaming at the time. It was fun to say, I remember I'd get decent amount of viewers, 100 to 200-ish. When I first started streaming, 2017, 2018. So it was pretty awesome, at least streaming. I never even looked at it as kind of a way to make money or anything like that. I kind of was just all right, if you want to watch my POV, I'm just going to stream and whatever. And if they enjoy it, then they can give me a sub or whatnot. But yeah, I know. I never really thought about social media because I didn't really think of it as a career or anything like that. So social media was never kind of on my mind or anything like that.
We saw the Unlocked episode where you talked about in high school, you didn't really see gaming as a viable career option. Was this maybe influenced by your parents at some point? Maybe they wanted you to do something else. Why was that? And in an alternate universe, what career path would you have taken?
It's actually the opposite in regards to my parents. They're kind of the ones who kind of pushed me to compete, especially after high school, because they knew I loved to play the game a lot, and they knew I was really good. Because I would win free for all, beyond free for all, 1v1s and stuff like that. I knew how the scene was back in Halo 5. It wasn't all that great in terms of just being able to live off it and just the terms of support. Because Halo 5 ended early and stuff, and just randomly went back to the past. So when COVID hit, because I had a real job working with my dad prior to COVID hitting, but then once COVID hit, I was you know what, I'm just gonna go all in on this and see what I can do. I was excited to do it. So, and my parents really were the ones that kind of pushed me to do it because they knew I was super good at it. So yeah, it's actually the opposite in terms of that.
Yeah, that's surprising because I know for me, even personally, my parents were like, "You want to be a Halo?" This is 2005, but you want to be a Halo pro? You need to go get a summer job at Chick-fil-A and be a normal kid. So that's really cool to hear that you have that parental support. We had Woodham on the podcast a couple weeks ago, and we know that his mother's support is a big driving force for his success today. So love that for all the gamer parents out there that push their sons and daughters to get into this as a viable career, because it is, extremely difficult, but it's just like anything else, right? If you wanted to go pro in the NFL or NBA, you got to be the 1% of 1%. So while it's extremely difficult to do, it is viable, and there's opportunities even outside of just playing professionally. Switching gears a little bit here, watching a lot of you on the main stage, because you guys are always in big matches, I love watching those matches because I have the player cams and you can really sense like the body language, the intensity, the focus. The eyes say so much. Your eyes are always inches away from the monitor. You remind me of Fear itself when I was competing back in the day with Eli the Ninja. Have you always played in this orientation? What's the thought process behind the tilted monitor and having it right up to your face? It kind of mimics your playstyle a little bit.
Yeah, so no, I didn't always play like this. It was probably after Kansas City. I think I was like scrimming online at the time, and I was like, dude, I just can't lock in. Like, what if I just like sit an inch away from my monitor? I would just be like, I'd just be like this right here.
Yeah.
And I just, I just sit there and it's like, I feel like once I got warmed up and then I was like warmed up and like locked in, I feel like it just made me better. I feel like it was like in VR, like I was like in the game. I think it's also like a result of just playing LAN. When you're on main stage and you're kind of just playing, you kind of just want to just block everything out. And I think just sitting that close, at least for me, just kind of like helps me just not even like feel like I'm at a LAN event. You know what I mean? Just like just strictly just end the game and just like I'm playing at home or something. I'm ever like this far back, I just can't try. Like I don't know what it is. I just can't try. I'm just like, yeah, whatever, bro. Like that's how I used to play, like during
Casual
Halo 5,
couch gaming.
Yeah, exactly. Like even though I'm not even that far back, like that's like normal for people right there. But I don't know. It's kind of just stuck, and yeah, it just works for me.
Recently, a hot conversation started about the state of competitive Halo as it relates to maps, sandbox, etc. What's your take on the current landscape of the competitive settings, and what would be some of your suggestions to improve the current state of the game?
I think we're in a good spot now. I think it could be a little bit better in terms of just like competitive, at least to me. I feel like I'm kind of just like a hardcore competitive guy, at least when it comes to the settings. Like the first game I got into when it came to competitive was Reach. And, Reach has like no shotguns, no swords. It's pretty much just the DMR sniper and like the needle rifle and rockets. That's pretty much it. But like other games like Halo 2, Halo 2 at least had the sword and the shotgun. So I feel like it's a little different. I mean, even Halo 3 had the sword, but it was only on one map. But I feel like with Infinite, it's just so different because, we're on such high frames. You can have like different speed than other people. If you're a guy G-sliding around, it's so much harder to counter like a bulldog than it wasn't like Halo 2 when you could just like throw a nade on the ground and shoot him in the head because he can't slide at you. You know what I mean? But I feel like with Halo Infinite and just any Halo moving forward, at least it should just be like super competitive, at least in terms of the setting. That's just how I feel. Like no shotguns. Like if I was making the settings, I'd have no heat wave. But like say we need to at least compromise. I think the heat wave's all right, just because you can somewhat outplay it. If you're like pushing sword on pit and a guy has the bulldog, if he's a pro, you're pretty much dead. There's no way unless you like shit on him and he misses somehow. You're not killing the guy. So I don't know if you guys saw my tweet to Lucid. I pretty much just want like precision weapons, rockets because I think you gotta have rockets. The combo just because I feel like the combo deserves. It's the one thing that can like pretty much counter the OV. And then I do like the addition of the disruptor. I feel like the disruptor is like it's not like broken, but it requires like a level of like skill and creativity. That's kind of what I think just all weapons should like be if it's in competitive. Like it either needs to like take a level of skill, aiming, or just like creativity. And if it just doesn't have those things, I just feel like it should not be in the game.
What are your thoughts on the Bandit as a starting weapon, more specifically the TTK?
So I see a lot of people complain about the rate of fire with the Bandit. I don't know. I'm kind of like iffy on it because I feel like if we were to slow it down, the game would be a lot more slower, and it'd just be I feel like it kind of play like how it did with the battle rifle. If the TTK were to slow down or just anything like that, I feel like it just makes the game so much harder in terms of like individual like creativity and like opportunity, and it would make it more of like a team game, kind of how it was with the battle rifle. So I kind of like it. I feel like it's kind of in a good spot, but I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to it if it were to make the game better, but I don't think it would.
I think it would be interesting if HCS were able to somehow maybe create like a different build of the game that they could test, because I feel like these kind of changes make massive implications to the way the game plays, right? Like even just barely changing the rate of fire of the starting weapon could have massive impacts on the gameplay. But if they could create like a test build and then maybe give it to like a handful of pro teams to just scrim on it for a while and then just like get to know how the game feels and then maybe give input based on that, that would be awesome. It sounds like it'd be pretty difficult to do. Maybe that's a bit too ambitious of an ask, but I don't know. It does feel like it's hard to know how things are going to play until we've spent a significant amount of time with it, right? Like, I feel like when the Bandit first came out, everybody was super excited about it. Oh, this is great. This is exactly what we needed. But now it's like, after spending a lot of time with it, the game has kind of evolved and changed. So just a thought that I have about that. And, you know, maybe somebody from HCS is watching and could make that happen. That'd be awesome.
We actually had T-Squared on the podcast last week, and he made a great suggestion, and it's a tried and age-old tradition, if you will, but this MLG, almost like Players Association or HCS Players Association. Did you see that tweet from Tom and some of his ideas around that? And what are your thoughts? And do you think that's possible in today's Halo?
Yeah, so I did see his tweet. As of just recently, we have kind of just got a good amount of pros. We've kind of got like 1 to 2 people from each team to try to like talk about changes. I know Clutch from 343 has kind of just been also pushing it like on us. Like if we really want these changes, we really do just have to like come together and like make an effort to at least like give like our feedback to 343. I know I know a lot of us kind of just like go on Twitter and we complain, but like none of us actually like, not all of us just get together and try to make a change, you know? So I feel like it's going good. We're just like kind of slow about it, but yeah, we actually, I think his tweet was like a kind of a good inspiration for that, because I saw his tweet and I was like, yeah, that does sound like a good idea.
As HCS's Season 1 Rookie of the Year, who are some up-and-coming players right now that have maybe caught your eye that could potentially be this year's Rookie of the Year?
Is Lashot a rookie? I don't even know.
Technically, he did compete on LAN last year. He had a great Fort Worth tournament, but he was part of the open bracket, right? He wasn't in pool play yet. So I think that would qualify him as one of those guys that are up there in Rookie of the Year.
I'd probably say Lashot. I don't really know anyone else who's kind of also just taken off this year, but
Wootum would probably be in that conversation.
Oh, Wootum, yeah, Wootum. Yeah, Wootum too. If I was just going based off like individual, geez, I don't know. It's hard to judge this because I don't even play against Wootum online. You know what I mean? He's a EU, so I would give it to Lashot right now just because I feel like he's a really good addition to his team. When you play against him, he doesn't really seem like he's like the new guy on the team. He's kind of just like, he's just a good fit for them, if that makes sense. I think they're definitely like top 6, and I think they could probably get top 4 for sure if they push themselves.
Yeah, totally agree. I think Lashot's a really exciting player to watch. Your free-for-all world champ at last year's world championship, and not only got the gunny, but like you said, his placing on the map, the way he positions himself, he doesn't look like a free-for-all kid, and he doesn't look like a rookie. So very impressive to see how he's adapted into 4v4s. Fast forward to last year's Salt Lake City event. That was your first LAN tournament win. It felt like some people in the community discounted it because of the home field advantage or the fact that it wasn't a major. Do you think that's fair?
I would say no. I mean, all the top teams were there. You know what I mean? I did hear people say that, and it was kind of like why I tweeted after I won Arlington that I won a major, because people would just be like, "It's not a major, or an invitational." Like, I don't know. Like, I'm not trying to disrespect anyone by saying this, but like, just because there's like not the Australians there, you know what I mean? The Australians think, oh, like it's not a real event win, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. And on top of that, like it didn't feel like there's any home field advantage. I will say though, when we played Optic, because we did play Optic in winter semis, I think that was like the first time we played Optic where like we were the ones who were getting rooted for more than Optic, and it was kind of just it's like a weird feeling, like playing Optic and like you're killing people on the map and they're going like people are happy. It's like, okay, this is weird.
Yeah.
No disrespect, but like I'll go like on some older players like wikis, and like they have like there's some like LAN event wins that are counted on there that are from like I'm pretty sure they were hosted in a basement. Like I don't know. Like I gotta count it. I don't know.
Fast forward nearly a year later, and you did win your first major. So the last LAN tournament that we had at Arlington, and this was after you guys picked up Lqgend. Lqgend seemed like a huge catalyst for that victory and just kind of the strides your team has been making in general. And you're actually living with him. So what's it been like helping him get comfortable in the States, and what does daily life look like for the two of you?
Yeah, when he came in, it was like February, so he's been here for about 3 months. I think the day he got here, we had to play an online tournament. So he was pretty exhausted.
I remember that one.
Yeah, I think we ended up getting like top 6. I think he was just like drained, and I was kind of just like, yeah, whatever. But yeah, in terms of him just living here, I mean, he like I've talked about it before. Whenever I do like an interview online or anything, he just plays the game all day. Like he's just in his room, like just playing all day. I know that sounds insane. Like you probably think I'm exaggerating, but he just plays all day. You know, it's kind of you don't really have to do anything for him. We don't even see each other that much because we're just we're gamers. We're just in a room playing all the time. So the only time I really see him is if we're like food or anything like that. But yeah, no, he pretty much just came here and he just lives the same life I assume he did in France because he just plays all day. So
I mean, he's a phenomenal player. It's so exciting watching. I mean, honestly, both of you play. A lot of people have started to say that he could be the best player in the game. I mean, you were in my stream the other day when I was going through you guys' stats, and like some of his stats are just completely off the charts. Like he's doing insane kills, insane assists, insane objective. I mean, when you just watch his screen, it just kind of feels like he's never really out of place. He seems to always have the right timing with the plays that he makes. Very rarely does it feel like I see him even make any kind of error at all. What's your take on that? And I feel like you yourself probably feel like you could be the best player. There's a handful of other players in that conversation. Stellar is always in that conversation as well. Where would you rank Legend, or does that even matter to you?
I think everyone on my team is probably the best at any given moment. Like, I don't know. I think we're all just really fucking good, and I think we kind of know that. But Legend, I mean, he brings something different to the team. He's probably the only person I play with in Halo Infinite where, like, he's, like, never dying. You know what I mean? Like, he's always living somehow. Like, you know how you can see your teammate through the walls, like, the little outline? Like I'll be spawning up, and I'm like, I see him across the map, like, and I'm like, oh, he's dead. And like 5 seconds go by, and he's not on the kill feed, like, dead. I'm like, dude, what the hell is he doing over there? Like, he's always just living somehow, and just like, what is he doing? You know what I mean? And then sometimes I'll be on my death cam on his, and like he's just shitting on people. Like he'll just like shit on people. And I don't know, he's just insane. Like he's really good at OBJ, you know, running the flag. I know you guys see him run the flag like on pit and stuff like that.
We lost our mind.
It's just an SSG. And Legend with the flag is too freaking good. Another G-Slide's gonna get hit. Another 15 meters skipped across the map. He's gonna get through the long haul because of it. And SSG might just secure 2 back-to-back 3-0 speed runs. Argyle and now Empyrean. SSG, what's in the water in Utah?
What in the world did we just watch? See this is like
yeah, he's always, it's funny because I remember like in our Discord he like posted that, and I watched it, and he's like doing the wall, like he's doing like the wall jump thing with the flag, and like, yeah, I'm not doing that, bro. Like I'm just gonna run it down the long haul.
Right.
And then when he's doing it, it's like it's insane because it's just so fast. Like there's times where we're playing the pit, and like I'm like, what the fuck? How is there flag and like under a flag? Like how are we about to cap this? Like I just died like 10 seconds ago. Like I don't even know what just happened. So
Legend has my mind blown.
I was just gonna say, I just gotta bring this up because like I've been playing a lot of matchmaking myself, and I've had a lot of games with him on my team and against him as well. And like there was a game, this was shortly after that cast. So if you posted the clip in your Discord, I know he watched it and probably had a good laugh at it. But he comes on my team and we get pit CTF. And I swear this dude was trolling, bro. Like, and I wonder if he like told you about this because he like treated it like he was a NASCAR racer, and he's just like he's literally like off of spawn, just hitting every G slide to their flag, like ignoring enemies. Like he'll put a couple shots in somebody on the way, but then he grabs the flag and he's just trying to go for the craziest flag runs the entire game. And I'm like, I ended up doing the most damage on the map. Like I did like 2K more damage than him, which would never happen if he's trying. I feel like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And then I see him lurking in my viewer list, but he doesn't say anything in my chat. I'm like, dude, this guy had to just troll me. Like just seeing my reaction to the way he's playing this. But it cracked me up. And I don't know. I just love like playing with or against him. He's the hardest kill I swear I've ever encountered in any game that I've ever played. Like, I just can't kill the guy. He'll kill me 7 times in a row, and I feel like I've got the jump on him in half of them, but he just finds a way to win. It's so frustrating. Did he tell you about that? Like, was he trolling me?
No, he didn't tell me about it, but the fact that he said he had 2K less damage, because he always has so much damage.
Yeah.
So that definitely sticks out that he's probably just trying to practice running the flag. Because whenever we play, I'm like, dude, how's this guy get so much fucking damage? Like,
right.
Like he always has so much damage. I don't really know how he does it.
Talk us through that, because Eli and I, we always talk about the key to winning and putting together a good team is the composition, complementary roles for everybody. You guys formerly had Dead Zone, an incredible player in his own right, known as your OBJ role player. Legend fits into the squad and does just as much OBJ, but you look at his kill death ratio and it's like he's a top fragger, top slayer in the HCS. How quickly did it take for Legend to fit into your roster as that OBJ player, which feels so weird to say because if you think an OBJ guy with 2 minutes of ball time, he's probably negative 10 or 12. He's probably positive 12 or 10. I mean, it's unbelievable what he's able to do while still holding on to the objective. Again, how long did it take for that to get going? Was it at Arlington or was it a little bit before that you guys were like, all right, we're rolling?
Yeah, so it was probably the next week after. So when he got there, the week prior to that, we played with Monster and we ended up winning the online tournament. And then the second week is the day he got there, we ended up getting top 6. And then the week after, we ended up winning. I'll probably say that next week after. Oh, no. Actually, I wouldn't even say then. I would say when he was still in Europe and we were playing with him in January, there was like, I think it was a FaZe tournament. I don't know what it was. It was some online tournament where we ended up losing to FaZe game 5 in the bracket reset. I ended up dying like 6 times in a row or something on Recharge
on
Slayer.
streets. Oh, Recharge. That's right.
Recharge. And I kind of just blew the game for us. But like right then and there is when I knew like, okay, we're gonna be dangerous. Like, I think it was our first time playing with him in a 4v4. Like the chemistry was so on par and just there. And like it was our first time playing with the guy. Like we didn't even knew if he like knew the call outs in English. We were just like, all right, fuck it. Like it's weird because when I used to play against him, I don't know if he even like did OBJ or maybe I just didn't even pay attention. But like on our team, he just does it so like effortlessly. You know what I mean? Like he like does it and then he's also just like making insane plays. And it's kind of like, okay, this guy's crazy. Like he's just insanely talented.
You got second at the Halo World Championship in season 1, third at the Halo World Championship in season 2. What's it going to take for you to finally slay the dragon and hoist up the trophy at the end of season 3?
I'd definitely just say like closing it out. I mean, I remember at the second Worlds, we're up 2-0 in winners finals and ended up reverse swap Optic and losing. So like that, it's hard thinking about it because like we're just one map away from making grands from winners finals or from winners side. You know what I mean? Like that's pretty much guaranteed. I feel like with Zane, we were kind of more like structured in a sense. At least when we played on LAN, we kind of like had a way of like playing every map in game mode and like every situation. Whereas like if we're on the back foot and they're like want to set up with an oddball, like we kind of just run out there and just make a play. Like we just run out there and somehow just get 2 kills somehow. Whereas like on the old team with Zane, it was kind of more structured where we'd like kind of take our time more and just like think shit out. But with Legend, we kind of just like make the play and it just works. I don't even know how. I feel like when it comes to winning worlds, like I said, it's just like just getting the job done. You know what I mean? Like when we're in those moments when we're up 2-0, it's like don't even think about what map 4 is. Like just win this shit. You know what I mean?
I think that you bring up a great point, especially when you mention those 2 top teams that are kind of in contention for you guys. Now Shopify Rebellion's kind of become almost like your off-season, or not off-season, but between events rival. What's that budding rivalry been like to you guys? 15, 30? Was it 30 matches you guys played in a matter of like 15 hours or something like that?
I think it was actually 29. I think it was 29.
That's a lot of Halo played. But you guys have gotten very familiar with Shopify Rebellion. What's your take on their almost infiltration into the big 3?
I definitely feel like it's a combination of 2 things. Just one, whenever we scrim them, they kind of just don't try that hard. I feel like whenever we scrim them, they're kind of just like letting us shit on them. And then, we'll go to play them in an online tournament and they're just like a completely different team. We're like, bro, why are these guys like trying so hard now? I guess another thing too would be they also are really fast. I'd probably say they're like probably behind us in terms of like this. They're probably the second fastest team we play, or like the fastest team we play, but like the second fastest team in the game. Like when we play Optic and FaZe, they play way slower and it's kind of easier for us in that sense of we can just kind of run at them and make a play. Whereas these guys are kind of running at us and making plays on us. It is online though, and I feel like if they can do it on LAN, I definitely feel like they're in the contention for top 3 and maybe even winning an event.
Yeah, it's funny you bring up the pace of play because I remember saying to Eli when we were casting, we casted I feel like a lot of those Shopify versus SSG matches, and I said, "Whew, Eli, we gotta stop down and take a deep breath, man. I've never seen the pace of play so fast in Halo, dating all the way back even the classics, which obviously didn't have movement tech and sprint, but it really felt like the pace of play ticked up just recently in the past couple of weeks."
I don't even know what happened because like I remember we would just be playing them like a week prior and they were just a completely different team, and then we're playing them the next week and we're like I don't know what, like a light bulb just went off in their head. They're like, let's just play as fast as they do and see what happens. And they're just like kind of just running around and just looking like idiots on our screen. But like at the same time, I'm like, is this what we look like on other people's screens? Like, they think we're idiots. You know what I mean? It might just be online kids a little bit, maybe. I don't know. No, I'm kidding. But they're definitely good. I mean, any team with Mikey, Soul Snipe, and I guess Suppress too. Like they kind of understand like how to play fast and how to make it work. And then Cycle too. Cycle's really good, a really good player too. The mental is kind of like their anchor on their team, the way they play. Yeah, like I said, if they can do it on LAN, I'll definitely be impressed.
We got a couple of quick cues. You can answer these with as many words or as few as you'd like, but these are more meant for rapid fire. So, Eli, take it away.
What is your fondest Halo memory?
Probably winning Salt Lake City, like just being on the like when we're about to win, like and then just like I'm sitting there like, damn, I won an event. I know it's generic, but yeah.
No, it makes sense. I'd say most people's answer is their fondest memories of winning tournaments, so it makes a lot of sense. What is a Halo hot take that might have you roasted on social media?
I don't even know. Halo 3 is horrible online. I don't know. Halo 3 is just dog shit online. Like it's just the game is not good. The game's not meant to be played online. I'll just say it. Like at least the OG version of it. Like I feel like the game's good online, but online the game's just horrible.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with you. You're probably right. Like the Halo 3 fans are insanely vocal. You're known for your haircut, or as Makowski wrote in our notes, having luscious locks. I didn't want to say that personally, but Makowski wrote that. So you're known for having luscious locks. Who's your top 3 Halo haircut tier list?
Top 3 Halo haircut. I'm gonna go Sika at number 1. Just because like he showed up bald in an event. That shit was crazy. I'm like, wait, is this guy bald now?
He looked like Walter White, dude.
That shit was crazy. I was like, wait, he's bald. Yeah, we'll go Sika. Stellar. I'll put Stellar too.
Halo Jesus.
Yeah, Stellar. And then I don't even know. I don't even Snakebite, just because I never see his hair. I've never seen Snakebite's hair, so we'll just go Snakebite.
He's always wearing a hat.
He's got the Snakebite hat on. Yeah.
The SP classic, yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny. What is your favorite weapon throughout all Halo games?
Probably the sniper or the DMR. Maybe one of those.
From which Halo?
We'll just say the sniper from Halo Reach, just because it was kind of OP.
It really was. It was probably the easiest game to snipe in, I feel like.
Yeah, no, it was so fun sniping in the game. Just being like ring 3, just like you just hit any snipe. It was so fun.
Who was your favorite duo as a teammate?
I guess I've only been on 2 teams. I'm probably just Legend at this point. I've never really had a duo like the teams I've been on. So yeah, I'd probably say Legend.
Yeah, your roommate. I mean, it makes sense. It makes me think of like Boo Boo and Falcated as a duo living together. Who is your favorite rival that you might enjoy beating when you do?
It's definitely Renegade for sure. That's not even a question. What do you say in terms of beating? Yeah, I think I like beating him the most.
Yeah, I think we all knew the answer to that one. Favorite Halo title in general?
I'll say Halo 5 because I don't know. Halo 5 or Halo Reach? Yeah, I'll go Halo 5 just because like competitively. Halo Reach is pretty bad competitively.
You mentioned Counter-Strike as one of your first FPS. Was that your foundational FPS? Like, what was the FPS that got you down this path?
I'd say I kind of go Counter-Strike. Just it was the first FPS I think I ever kind of played. That and like Unreal Tournament, like way back when I was like 4 or 5. Those games were kind of cool. But when I got an Xbox, I played Gears of War. I don't even know. That's not even a first-person shooter, but I was like a Gears of War kid. Because I got my Xbox in 2008. So I guess Gears of War 2, I just grinded insanely. And then Modern Warfare 2, the original one from 2009. And then I didn't even like get into Halo until Reach. For some reason, I didn't even play Halo 3, even though I had an Xbox at the time. Like I didn't like grind it at all.
That's incredible. You hopped on Xbox at the peak of Halo 3. There's 1.5 million people online concurrently, and you flew over that. That's actually really intriguing.
Yeah. Well, I loved Gears of War. I thought Gears of War was like super cool, like the movement, like you could wall bounce and stuff. I thought that was so cool. I remember when I was like, me and my brother were playing Halo 3, and I was like, why can't you sprint in this game? I was like, it's kind of weird. Like you're like a super soldier and you can't sprint. I remember like thinking that to myself. Like, isn't that kind of weird? But I think like Reach having sprint kind of like got me to play the game, even though I didn't even like sprint. Like because I loved like the MLGV settings in that game, like the competitive settings of that game. But yeah, I don't know why I didn't even like play Halo that much back then. Like in its prime.
We certainly appreciate having you on the podcast with us today, Bound. This was awesome, a ton of fun. Is there anything that you'd like to say as like some follow-up words to the experience on the podcast, or anybody that you'd like to thank in the community?
Thanks for having me. I've never done a podcast. I've always kind of wanted to do something like this, so it was cool just like an opportunity and just come on here and just like talk, just actually like get to talk to people instead of just stream and just rage and stuff. So it's cool to come on here and just like just be being able to be myself and not be angry all the time and about the game and shit. So
that like hits my heart because me and Eli have been talking about doing this podcast for years now because there is no gaming title or esport competitive title which with more rich history and even present history and future history than Halo, at least in our eyes.
Yeah.
We'll biased.
Yeah, I'd agree. I'd agree 100%. I mean, it's been going for like 20 years, so 100%.
That was part of our theory was like, man, if we can get these stories to the forefront, people are going to care about our favorite game more. They're going to watch more tournaments. We could lift up the scene with this. And man, to hear the feedback we've gotten from you guys, Renegade, he said the same thing, but just about was never done this before. And I hear that in my head, I'm like, that's insane. There's so many people that would love to hear y'all's thoughts and opinions. You guys are the best in the world at a lot of people's favorite video games. So, and shout out to all the pros that are stepping into their uncomfort zone, if you will, and hopping on things like this to share their stories, their thoughts and perspectives, because I think we're right on that theory. I think this is going to help grow Halo, and it may not be something we see right away, but I mean, me and Eli, we've been here for 20 plus years. We're in it for the long haul. We'll be here for another 20 years as long as they keep making Halo. So shout out to the players, man, past, present, and future that have come on and shared these stories, because this has been one of my favorite gaming experiences of all time is doing this podcast. And we have got to stop down and thank Kills in the Night, because without him, it probably would have just been another year or two me and Eli talking about doing this shit.
Oh,
so,
facts.
Shout out to Kills, man, because he has put this all together. He puts just as much time and energy into the post-production. He's here in all of our recordings, and I know he's a little bit behind the scenes, but I want to put him up to the forefront. And I'd even be like, dude, Kills, you're the editor. Include this in the podcast, man, because you deserve a lot of love. I know Kills doesn't come necessarily from the Halo community, but man, talk about indebting yourself to it, putting 10 to 24 hours into these episodes. I mean, dude, it's a true labor of love. So as much as I thank the pros that come on, I got to thank Kills in the Night as well, because he's really brought this all together.
That will do it for this episode of Tide the Leader with Eli and Makowski. Be sure to subscribe to both channels for more. Check the playlist in the description for a link to all the other episodes. And keep in mind, these episodes take a lot of time and effort to produce. We do ask you to please take a look at the Patreon, consider donating to the cause so that we can continue producing awesome content for the community.